Praise the Lord. My name is Anthonia Onye. My father calls me Eze Jalo, meaning a king will marry you. Though I am yet to find that king, I'm greatly honored and grateful at the same time to talk about my first teacher, my hero, and my best friend, my daddy, Chief Pius Eugene Onye Ezafrukwe. To say that I love my dad would be an understatement. Why? Because after God, I have never seen someone that loved me with pride like my dad. He loves me with extra sweetness. And he made sure that I knew and know that he loves me. He was the one that I look up to whenever I found myself in need. He was my encourager, the one who believed in me and stood with me in prayers and with a lot of affirmation. You know, his love and all those affirmations made me feel like I am the most beautiful woman in this planet and that I could achieve and overcome anything in my life. My father never gambled, but he entered into a bet with a close friend of his. And that was happening behind my back, you know. And the bet is to see, I don't know how they got to that point, but I think my daddy, you know, talks about me all the time. You know, I later found out about the daughter, Chibuzo, that he said behaves like a man can do, things a man could do and all that. You know, he's over there setting me up and I didn't know because of the love he has for me. So they want to find out whose daughter will have the best result in WAEC exam. After high school, there's an entrance, and that's the exam. And all I know, remember, was that my result came out. I ran to him. I always run to him at any time. When I have my first encounter with the Lord, I ran to him because he had this listening ear. He knows how to make you feel much better, feel validated and all that. So I gave him my result. And, you know, my dad hugged me and told me how much proud that he was at that time. And guess what? He left the house. But he left with my paper out of, you know, as a you know, teenager. I'm like, okay, I gave it to him. He's proud, he's happy. I didn't think about, oh, he's leaving the house with the paper. But needless to tell you that he went straight to the man's house. He did. And I had no clue all this were happening until I was entering into college and about to leave my home, because college, you have to leave, you know, in Nigeria, you have to actually live inside the school, you know, campus. Then I met his friend, this man, you know, they are the same age with my dad. And he began to share. And when I told him, oh, I'm leaving so and so day, he, you know, he began to encourage me and he began to remind me how proud my daddy is, you know, of me. And then he shared the story, and he shared the story, all that I have just shared with you. And, you know, he said that what, you know, stood out is that my dad, not just that my dad was proud, but he was confident. He was confident to enter that bed. And he, you know, it's like one time ever he wants to enter into a bed for anything, and it has to be on my head. Can you imagine that? And I have no clue. Amen. But guess what? He won the bed because he taught me it's important for parents to teach. I remember those days, what I learned from him, I began to do. He will help us with homework. You know, he will help me, he will help Chinedu. I don't know, Chinedu, if you remember, he will help us. He taught me. And that made me, growing up, I will begin to get the other kids in my community, in my, you know, street, and I'll begin to teach them what I learned from my father. And in that young age, my father instilled in me so much confidence, self-esteem. My self-esteem is shoots out the roof. That's why no matter what the enemy throws at me, I have never seen myself to put my head down because of something my dad embedded in me. My dad embedded that whatever I put my heart to do, that I can achieve it, I can overcome. Chief Pius Onye was a man of gentleness. He was a man of humility, simplicity, and peace. He taught me that it does not matter how much wealth or possession you have, but how well you use your gifts and how many lives you have impacted. He did that. My daddy impacted so many lives with his wealth. And no wonder today I am following the footsteps of my hero, of my best friend, in reaching out, impacting life, one person at a time. My daddy taught me so many things, principles to become a successful adult, like waking up early in the morning. As I was growing up, he would say, plan your day. You guys need to plan your day. Plan your day before someone else plans it for you. Because why? If you don't plan your day, your friend will come and ask you, oh, can you follow me to this place? Oh, can you take me to this place? And you will go. You are going with their plan. Then when you plan your day, when you wake up and plan your day, then you put others in your plan, not others putting you in their plan. And, he told us, it was not, I was not too fond of that advice because I was not a morning person and I'm still not a morning person. Don't call me before 6, you won't get me. Don't call me before 6 a.m., 7 a.m. You won't get me unless if I'm going to work, But it helped shape the woman that I became from college days through serving in the National Youth Service Corps, service and being a mother and a teacher, it did help me. It helped me to plan my day before other people will plan that day for me. It was from my dad. It helped me to pray in the morning because my dad will be the one that wake up before 5 a.m. You will see him in the living room praying. And then when we wake up, we'll all come to, he has already prayed as the father. Jesus. He already prayed as a father. And then when we wake up and then we come to him and then we begin our morning devotion before he can make any business transaction, he takes care of his morning devotion. That's my dad. My dad was a hands-on dad, even though his business trip takes him away from home quite a bit because he travels sometimes outside the country on business. But when he's back, he makes sure that he gives us shower. He makes sure that the boys, their hairs are cut. He showers us morning and showers us at night. And sometimes, the driver will take us to school until we're able to do our thing. And, despite the fact we have housemates, my dad wants to do it by himself once he's home. Once he's home, he will take care of his kids. He will shower us. One thing he didn't do, I didn't see him do, is cook, but he knows how to order food and buy food. We can eat those food that he bought, but he takes care of his children. Not many men growing up, I didn't see many of them showering their kids and combing their kids' head. That my dad was doing that at the time before they start cutting my hair. Anyway, but one thing I didn't also, I was not fond of was the way my dad showers us, with all his muscles, all the men's muscles. He will take a soap in a sponge and he will be scrubbing us. And if you have any bumps or mosquito bite or whatever, my dad would make sure he skins it out. And even if it's bleeding, he skins it out. And to worsen it all, he's using the Tetmosol. I don't know if you know the Tetmosol that, is a little medicated, like peppermint medicated soap. So it burns a little bit when he's doing that. But me and Chinedu, I hope you remember this. I remember that. I'm like, oh my God. But he will make sure he showers us and we can cry. But afterward, though, what he does is he makes us feel a lot better after, the shower. He will get all the goodies. He'll say, I have something for you. Come, come, come. And he'll give us the goodies and we'll sit around him. And that makes us much better. I feel much better. My daddy, one of his businesses, he was a distributor of Nigerian breweries that, makers of sodas, beers, and all that. Every weekend, my dad, you see, when we go to school Monday through Friday, he makes sure that we, go to school, do our homework, and we go to sleep early and all that. But comes Friday night, the party is on. My daddy is a quiet man, but he makes sure that he entertains his family. That means Friday night, Saturday night, you can drink. He will buy suya, he will buy snacks, all of us. We'll sit down around the table. He'll telling us stories from his business, stories from the village, stories about his mom, about his dad, and we all laughing and we all, and that's my daddy. That's the daddy that I grew up. That, I was not looking for any man to show me love because I've already found love where my father is. I already find what it means to have a family. I had it in full dose. My dad was a great man. He's a great dancer. He is a sophisticated, smooth ballroom dancer. My goodness, a lot of men envies him. He's a dancer. My daddy don't go to much party, but he belongs to a club that calls People's Club of Nigeria or something. And when they go, he takes us sometimes. I've seen him and I see him with his moves. That man has such a good move, a good dancer. Daddy was financially wise. He was financially wise and he was generous. Let me tell you something. My daddy disapproved of extravagant lifestyle. He disapproved it. He taught me to save in a rainy day. My daddy do not like extravagant lifestyle. Flamboyancy is, you won't find my daddy there. He made money and he used that money for mission, rebuilding churches, rebuilding hospitals, rebuilding, giving waters, clean running water in the village and all, a lot of stuff. Even in Aba where we live, he was very helpful. People were coming, even in our houses, tenants will be owing 5 years, 10 years. He wouldn't push them out. He's helping them. But one thing that I know for me that he did, because I am close to him. And when you see a child that wants to learn from you, you pour it out. My daddy saw and understood that I was coming to him all the time, and he was teaching me important things in me. One of the things he did for me was to open an account at a tender age. When I was little, I was still in middle school or so, or elementary school. He opened an account in my name. And when I got to secondary school, he took me there and we, did redo whatever it is. And he said, whatever money you get, save it. You don't need to buy this. You don't need to, just save your money. And that worked for me. I now at a tender age, learn how to money, whatever I got, I'll save some and then I will use a little bit. It was from my daddy. He taught me how to invest in stock market. My dad had a lot of shares, a lot of stock market shares. He has a lot, and he began, while I was in college, I began to acquire those stock market. Oh my goodness, my daddy is a peace builder, a peacemaker, a humanitarian, a wisdom and pillar of a community, agent of reconciliation and restoration. My daddy is a lover of all, both young and old. I was sharing with someone the other day, growing up, we didn't understand it. We were so embarrassed that when our friends come, and we come to the living room, my daddy will come out and my daddy will say, oh, hey, how you doing? And we like, okay, you say how you doing? Okay, go. We're like looking at him, okay, daddy, it's time to go. Then my daddy will sit down and ask them, how is your daddy? How is your mommy? How is your daddy's business? And how are you? You know, are you going to school? What are you preparing to study? And if they make mistake and say, oh, accounting or whatever, math, or my dad will begin to tell them, oh, this is how you do it. And we'll be like, okay, already. Then if it's a little baby, my daddy will stop and sit on the floor with that little baby. That's the kind of daddy that I have, okay? My daddy carries my touch. My daddy is my, what you call it? When the basketball people are playing and you have people singing for them on the cheerleaders. My daddy was my cheerleader, my encourager, my teacher, my hero. I don't know who to go to. I don't have anyone. I don't know who will give me those great advice. There's something that I know is what he has instilled in me. And the God that I serve is my consolation. My encouragement is that my daddy gave his life to Christ. Not just a church goer that we go every Sunday. My daddy gave his life and confessed unto salvation with his mouth. That means I will see him again. I celebrate you, my hero. I celebrate you, my teacher. I celebrate you, my love. I love you, Daddy, and I am missing you already. Good night, Chief Pius Onye. I love you.